What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Dime, and I know it's been a minute since I've been on live or since I've been on the Instagram. Well, I'm back, and I just want to say hey. So last time we was doing this live, you must have seen what a couple of my coworkers up there, maybe Lonnie, maybe Wayne. Well, I'm here today, and I want to let you know that I hope you paid attention to last week and the week before because it's very important that you continue to wash your hands, that you continue to wash your face, and that you wipe down anything that you're about to touch, and make sure you wash your bodies when you are at home and wipe down everything there. I want to send all my love to each and everybody that is out here in the world today to stay safe and make sure that you tell your loved ones that you love them, okay? Your loved ones, your friends, it doesn't matter. Make sure you let them know you love them each and every day. Tomorrow is not tomorrow is not promised and time isn't either. So, with that being said, as you always know, that I'm your boy and I'm always talking about our lesson of today, which is HIV 101, but we also going to get into AIDS just a little bit because, there has been proven that they are trying to cancel out the word AIDS because HIV medication has been working, what is the word? It's been working tremendously over the years since the 90s. So, yeah, kudos to that. Let's give a round of applause for that. So, anyway, let's get into this. This is Dime, and we're doing HIV 101. So, the first thing I want to say is that we always talk about HIV and AIDS. A lot of people, a lot of you all, get it mistaken that AIDS and HIV are the same thing. Okay? They are not the same thing. Let's get that out of your head right now. It is absolutely not the same thing. HIV is a virus, and we all have viruses born inside of us. No, we don't have HIV born inside of us, but we do have viruses born inside of us, and viruses erupt by the bacteria that gets into our systems, like what's going on now in the world. AIDS is a syndrome. And at that point, that's when your body is broken down to the point where you don't have enough of something and you can develop more sickness on top of getting sick. So it's like the breakdown part, okay? So I'm glad we got that under wraps, and now we can get into our lesson. So once again, today's lesson is HIV 101. So most of you out there, I ask you all the time, what does HIV stands for? And people be like, heterosexual infection, vagina. I didn't heard it all. Okay? It's a little funny, but even when I was younger, I didn't know what it means. I just knew HIV, okay? So, I'm going to give you the complete wording of this abbreviation. HIV stands for, I shouldn't have put this tape up here. HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. Yes, I know it's a long word. Human, which is us. Immuno, which is inside of our system, inside of our body. Deficiency virus, like I said before, which comes through certain bacteria, okay? So once again, HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. So most of you are always asking me, well, what happens when HIV enters the human body? Well, I'm here to let you know what happens. So when HIV enters the human body, what happens is the HIV antibodies, what we're going to call it, the HIV antibodies meet up with your T cell, okay? And your T cells are what help us fight off infections like common colds or certain sickness, even help us with cancers and flus, all right? What happens is the HIV antibodies come into your system and they come into play with one of your T cells. It only has to attack one of your T cells. Okay, let me grab this right here. All right. Okay, let's break this down. Hopefully it's nice. So these are your T cells. Let's say these are 1,000,000 T cells, whatever, okay? These are your T cells. And so what is going on, these guys are having a private party. We want to take it back to first grade just for a moment, okay, so we can break this down. These guys, and guys, we're going to say guys because I ain't drawing no hair, so it might not be no ladies at this party, okay? It might be an LGBT party. I don't know. It could be a girl party too. Let me just draw some hair. There we go. Now, there's one girl at the party. So, these T cells are having the time of their life. They're at a private party. They're doing their thing. But here you have, maybe I should use a different color. Let's use, I will have this color. Let's use this color. So, here we have outside of the party, someone that's angry. Well, something that's angry. And is not happy because he wasn't invited to this party. And we're going to call this the HIV antibody. So beside here, we're just going to put HIV. Okay, so you'll know. So this is the HIV antibodies. Once the HIV antibody sneak his way into this party, he's trying to party with Miss Thing right here. And Miss Thing right here is having the time of her life, you know. She's been taking care of your body since the break of dawn. And she meets up with him trying to figure out what type of T cell is he. And he tricks her and end up killing her off. And once he kills her off, you know what he's doing? He's making replica of his own antibody. So here she is now, angry as she can be. She's not partying no more. There she is now, angry as she can be. Now the HIV antibodies. You know, it's like The Walking Dead. Someone scratches, someone bites you, they turn, all right? And that's what your T cells are basically turning into when the HIV antibodies is basically trying to attack them. So once she turns into an antibody, she's going to go and infect her friends. And then this guy is going to infect his friend. And so on until there's a bunch of antibodies, HIV antibodies floating around in your system, okay? So this is where it comes in when we're talking about AIDS. We just talked about HIV and what HIV stands for and what the T cells are here for and what the HIV antibodies do to the T cells when it attacks them. So if you have about, let's say 600 T cells in your body, when you have dropped, when your T cells has dropped below 200, that's when someone is classified with AIDS. Now, depending on the person, depending on the circumstances, that can be 10 to 15 plus years from now from that happening. That can be 6 months from now. That can be a month from now, depending on the circumstances, okay? Once again, we are dealing with the human body and our immune system. So, AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome, okay? Once again, a syndrome is when something is basically broken down. So, remember how I was saying, if the HIV antibodies get in touch with the T cells, it's killing it off. So, it's breaking it down, making its own replica, okay? So that's what that is right there. And I hope that I'm explaining this so that you can understand. You can definitely inbox me or put a comment down below so that I can personally help you out with a better description, you know, so that you can be aware. Because this is very serious. I live in Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. is one of the highest rates with people living with HIV and AIDS. Okay? There are people who know their status and they may be on medication. Okay? That is true. There are people that are on medication. And then you have people who do not know. And they are not on any medication. Alright? So it's very big in wards 5, 6, 7, and 8, especially if you live in those areas, okay? So, we're going to get into a little something. A lot of times people, when I am teaching like at schools or even churches, groups, parents groups, it's you know, we all hit a line that transmits HIV. Okay? I asked them, what is the four bodily fluids? And I always get poop. I always get saliva. I get pee. I get kissing. I get drinking after somebody. Or what else I get? I get a ton of things. I even got hugging one time. Hugging. Which are all wrong. Those are all wrong. And before people say, yes, saliva is one because you're putting your mouth on a penis or vagina or you're drinking of the person. No, that's not how that works. Now, don't get it twisted. It is possible if you're trying to win like the world's record for something. This is the only way saliva can transmit HIV. You have to drink 13 gallons of someone else's saliva. But by then, you probably have hepatitis. So I don't even think you're worried about HIV, honey. Just being real. And if they got an STI, then you probably got that too. And you better hope you're showing symptoms, because if you're not showing symptoms, then you're not going to the doctors, because most likely, whatever you don't see, you're not checking for anyway. You know? Just being real. So, we're going to get into these four bodily fluids. Let me move T cells and antibodies out the way. Alright, we're going to rebuke this. We're going to keep our T cells healthy no matter what. Amen. Alright, so we're going into the four bodily fluids. I guess I can show you this whole thing. I'm not going to hide from you anymore. So, four bodily fluids are blood, okay? Blood. Vaginal fluid. Please listen, people, because I do a lot of testing and people do not know what vaginal fluid means. Okay, I'm just going to let you know this. It's the fluid from the female vagina, okay? That's what that is. When I say, are you having unprotected vaginal sex? I have 40-year-olds asking me, what is that? Well, how are you even having sex? Okay, but anyway, vaginal fluid from a female, okay? Semen / pre-cum. Pre-cum holds the same amount of that semen has, okay? So I don't even like to say pre-cum, because you all need to know that the pull-out method do not work. That the let me stick the tip in do not work, okay? I don't want to use the condom, it's dry down there. Ain't gonna work, because you don't know once it's dry when you up in there, because men do not feel when they pre-cum. And most men get aroused, okay? Most men get aroused by seeing a certain person or getting ready for a certain type of act, and they are not even aware that the penis tip, the head of the penis, is getting moist. That is the pre-cum. Okay, I don't know what you may thought that was, but that is the pre-cum. So all that stuff I just named, it's not going to work. Use a condom. Do not use anything else. We're going to get into that too. Thanks. I'm happy I reminded myself. We're going to get into that. So we got blood, vaginal fluid, semen. Remember, we cutting out the pre-cum, because you know that stuff don't work. Breast milk. Those from an infected mother, because I don't want y'all to be going around saying, oh my God, if you feed your baby breast milk, you're going to contract HIV. No. Someone has to have an STI or an STD to pass it on to someone else. I'm going to say this, I always say, and you should know, 0 + 0 = 0. It's never going to add up to anything, okay? If you have 0 pennies and I have 0 pennies, then let's say Lonnie needed 5 pennies from the 2 that had 0 pennies. How many pennies do you think she's going to get? None. All right. So once again, blood, vaginal fluid, semen, breast milk. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about the modes of transmissions. The modes of transmissions are basically sharing needles. Maybe people who do like drugs, shooting up. But that's not the only way. Us youth and us kids. I like to think of myself as a kid, even though I'm 28. I'm forever young. But anyway, youth out here today love going to tattoo parties because their friend and took up art class, and then their friend and got some needles and some ink for Christmas from their grandma, their uncles, their aunt, and they want to be drawing on people's bodies. Okay, that stuff is expensive. It's very expensive. So you have to be careful with getting tattoos as well. Because if I was a tattoo artist and I was stingy with my money and I wanted to save my money, what I would have done is clink the needle off and use the same needle that I used on the next person that was just sitting in my chair. Right? That's not good. What's going to end up happening is you're going to still be able to infect someone else by using that same needle. We said the 4 bodily fluids consist of blood. One of them consists of blood. So even though you think that you're cleaning that needle off, you're technically not cleaning that needle off, because they say that the blood dies within in the air for 30 seconds. But if you're containing blood, it's not dying out. You're containing it, so it's staying where it's at. Okay, so sharing needles, tattoo needles have to be clean needles, completely new needles out the pack. The ink has to be new ink. You cannot reuse the same ink. They say water and oil do not mix, but blood liquid is like oil. It's not like water. So therefore, the ink of the oil and your blood will mix just fine. Okay? Excuse me. So make sure the ink is new, make sure the needles is new, and make sure you're there to watch it, because just asking is not satisfying. Okay? What are we going to do? Oh, it's not going. So we said sharing is, so specifically oral sex. Okay? Oral sex, that's mouth to vagina, mouth to penis. Hey, nowadays it's mouth to anus. Okay? Vaginal sex, once again, when something is being inserted into a woman's vagina, even if it's a strap-on for you ladies or gentlemen, out there that are in the LGBT community that like to use straps. It doesn't matter what sex it is. It still has to have the condom on it, especially if that's the only one you got, because it can still contain a lot of stuff on it. Going back to what we was talking about in the very beginning, bacteria. Okay? So, put a condom on it. Someone got a question? Okay. So, oral sex, vaginal sex, anal sex, and that's when you are sticking your penis or your strap inside of a person's butt. It doesn't matter which way it goes, whether you're the one that's penetrating or the one that's receiving. It doesn't matter. It's still being penetrated. It's still penetration in some type of way. You have to use a condom. Alright? And breast milk, once again, from an infected mother. Alright? So that is the 4 bodily fluids, and those are the modes of transmissions. So, I want to break this down really quickly before I move on, because this stressed me out a lot when I am seriously trying to talk to people who don't want to listen. And with this pandemic going on, I'm really need y'all to listen, okay? Because tomorrow just ain't promised. And like I said, time is not on our side. So if you're saying, oh, you're going to wear these gloves, you're going to wash your hands every freaking 5 minutes after you done touched everything, then that means when your crazy self is at home, you should not be hitting up someone to be trying to have sex with them. And then you're saying you're using all these methods to stay safe, but the one method you forgot was to also use that condom. Because you was thinking with your private area and not your mind, okay? The same rules apply like this pandemic that we are in. Okay, nothing is different. So I'm gonna need you to strap it up if that's you calling whoever to your house. Um, okay, so we're gonna get into, yes, that's what I was gonna get into. Our test in the world test for HIV antibodies, okay? It's very possible that when you come to us and you take a test, you can be negative. But see, you're negative the day you got tested. So when you come to us, we say, today your test is HIV negative. Listen to what I'm saying. Today your test is HIV negative. That means we don't have truly enough realistic information to go off, even though you told us that you're going to be negative 3 months from now, 6 months from now. We don't know that information. And sadly, neither do you. Neither do you. Our test only shows 3 to 6 months back. Okay, 3 to 6 months back. Not what you did yesterday or last week. 3 to 6 months back. However, HIV antibody starts to develop in a human's system on the 4th day of having sex with someone who is infected. Okay? That's just the truth. And it's not to scare you, but it's to be aware. Okay? It's just to be truly aware that condoms work and that you should use them so you don't have to rush to emergency room. But we're going to get into that too. So, testing methods for when you're getting tested. I know most of you that come to the Power office, y'all come for the McDonald's gift card. We do the 60 finger prick HIV testing. It's called the instant finger prick test, and we draw a teeny bit of your blood, and you get your results in like 1 minute. So that's drawing blood, just like the hospital was drawing your blood from the vein. So drawing blood, you have the oral swab, which is 20 minutes. So that's like the swab of the roof of your gums, the side of your gums, and you wait 20 minutes for your results, okay? What are we doing? Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to get into prevention, okay? The biggest prevention that people like to say in this world is abstinent. Abstinent is the best prevention. Yes, it is, but sadly, we don't live in a big old world where everyone can say, I'm a virgin. I can't say that, okay? And if you are a virgin, then I congratulate you, and there's no shame, and there's no rush, and you keep that sugar contained, okay? Alright, so the method prevention. So condoms is another one. Please use the condoms. And if you feel like, condoms don't work, maybe you're not trying out condoms, the best of your abilities. There are a lot of condoms. You got ultra thins. You got extra lubricated. You got sensitive condoms. You got ribbed for her pleasure. You got female condoms. You got Trojans. You got Magnums. You got Kings. You got lifestyles. And y'all stop saying that the lifestyles don't work and they pop. What it is that you're trying to do some magic trick on somebody, and what's going on is you're going too fast and you're doing something you don't know what you're doing, and you're popping it, and you're probably not even putting the condom on right because you're trying to showboat that the penis is that big, so you're tightening the condom. Stop it. Alright? We're going to get into that too. So prevention also is PrEP. Now PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. That is a pill that someone can take for 21 days, up to 21 days without having sex or without having unprotected sex. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. So what the pill will do is build up in the person's system and basically making that blockage and building up your immune system so that so that person couldn't come in contact with the HIV virus. Okay? That person has to take this pill consistently and effectively. That's every day at the same time, whether the doctor asks you what day you want to take, what time you want to take it, or they prescribe for you. However, this is a lifetime pill because it's still an HIV medication. It's a form of an HIV medication, so you still have to take this medication, I would say, for life. Because you can be in a situation with somebody and then y'all can break up. And even though you know you're safe with that person, you can say, well, I'm going to stop using this medication. I would advise that you don't stop taking this medication because now you have to get to know a whole new person. A whole new person. And you've already been protecting yourself, so continue protecting yourself by using this medication. It works. I have friends that are on PrEP. They talk to me about it all the time. It works, okay? Missing a day can cause complications, and we like to think of this pill like the birth control pill. So it's like birth control. It's like an example of birth control. The people that best qualify for this pill, as they say, is men who sleep with men, transgender, transsexuals, and high-risk individuals. That means it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the sex or the activity. If you're a high-risk individual, what's going on is you're not using condoms. You're meeting up with people you probably do not know. You're hanging in groups that may want to partake in high-risk activities, okay? So if that's you, I need you to listen. So the people that best qualify, once again, is transgender, transsexual, men who sleep with men, and high-risk individuals. Doesn't matter if you're straight or gay or pansexual, whatever you want to call yourself, because there's a lot of new ones out here, and sadly, I don't know them all. But, yeah, that. All right, so now we're going to go into PEP. PEP is an emergency exit. Okay, I like to say this is emergency exit, and the reason why I say is because you have 72 hours. It's not a cure, but you have 72 hours to get to the emergency room and say, hello, my name is such and such. I believe that I had sex with someone who is HIV positive, and they get more detail from you. And what they're going to do is test you. They're going to test you, and they're going to see if you're negative. If you're negative, they're going to prescribe you with medication called PEP, and that's post-exposure prophylaxis. And from there, what's going to happen is they're going to tell you how to take this pill probably day and night for 28 days straight. You definitely cannot miss no medication, not a day. Missing one day, you done messed up your chance basically from being HIV free. That's very blunt, but it's the truth. So you have to take it consistently and effectively. That's every day at the same time. From there, you will continue to meet with your doctor. After the 28 days, they will test you again to see what the results are. This pill actually works because I have had to take maybe like 2 clients to the emergency room, or I referred them to rush to the emergency room, and they are fine today. Once again, everything we do here is confidential, so we don't tell anybody's business, nor will you ever know anybody's business. We practice what we preach, and we take that very seriously, okay? So, yeah. What else am I getting into? Oh, condoms. Condoms is a big thing. I wish I had the penis model down here. We had some. I think I got some in here. Yeah, So we're going to use this penis model for today. It's a wooden penis. I guess people will prefer it because it's wooden and hard, Let me grab a condom. So this is a lifestyle condom, and it's in the color of gold. Did you know that the lifestyle condoms in the color of gold? Lifestyle is only the brand, but this is actually a king. This is actually a king condom. Okay. So what I'm gonna do with this condom? I got my penis here, and I'm in the mood. I'm ready to have sex. My partner or my girl, whoever, is like, "Oh, you gotta go get a condom," and I'm like, "Bet, I already got one," but she's or he or whoever's asking, I have to put it on correctly. What that means is I have to check the expiration date. So let's check this expiration date. Let's see if I can see it. So this say it expires 2024. So this condom so far is good, but we gotta wait. So now we gotta look at this condom and check for air bubbles, because if you feel too much, if you feel pressure going down, that means that there may be a hole, or a micro hole, even though you can't see it, inside this condom. So even though this condom is good to use for the expiration date, you may not want to use this condom because you want one that's sealed. You know, you want to feel for the air in this condom. So once you check that the air is good in this condom, you're going to basically pull away. Okay, you're gonna pull away. You see my fingers pull away from where you want to turn. Okay, there's no right or wrong section of this condom to tell you where to turn, but you basically want to pull away from the condom so that you can, let me get the bristles, so that you can turn down. And what that means is I didn't want to turn my condoms because you can still rip the condom. And please do not use your teeth. I don't know why people think that's cute. Okay, just for personal remembrance, if that's the word. I can't stand that. I think that's a turn off by itself, and I'll be like, get out. But that's me. Cause girls like to rip off condoms too, though. I don't know what's the fetish for that craziness. It's ridiculous and stupid. Anyway. So now you can take your condom out safely, and you have to check what side to be on. So I'm going to give you the little tip. If your condom look like a baby bottle top, and there's a guy out there or a girl that put this condom on their guy, or a man who put their condom on their guy, and it's looking like this, and you can't scroll this condom down, you need to throw that condom away. That condom is trash. You cannot use that condom. You can't reverse that condom because your juices is all over the condom. That's not good. Throw it away. Get a new condom. If the condom look like a sombrero hat. Yeah. This is the correct way, because what's going to happen is you can scroll down on, I'm going to put it right here, on your condom. So now what I'm going to do next is pinch the tip. Why do I want to pinch the tip? Everybody always asking. Because you need room for when you ejaculate into your condom. When the condom is too tight and it does not have space, when you come, it's going to bust. So showboating that your penis is big comes with a lot of consequences afterwards, because all you cared about was tightening that damn condom up. Excuse my French. So you want to pinch the tip. You want to scroll the condom down, okay? Make sure it's room that condom. Scroll it all the way down, and you can push up just a little bit to make sure that you have enough room. Once the condom has enough room, see that room for all that mess to come in there? Now you're good. If you have this condom on your, on your penis, or on your strap, or on your toy, you are the only one that can take this condom off, okay? I personally would say, go to the bathroom, get some tissue, or get a napkin, and scroll your condom off like this, okay? You want to make sure that you ain't getting it. No, we're just going to scroll. It's going to go off. It's your juice, okay? And you're basically, I don't have a trash can down here. Let's say this is the trash can. You're going to throw it in the trash. The reason why you want to throw it in the trash is because it needs to be in the trash, okay? Like my mother used to say, just do it. But you don't want to throw it in the toilet, because let's say you're not living by yourself, and now you're in trouble because you got to pay $500 for the plumber to come out and take that condom out, and your mama getting ready to beat your butt, or your auntie is pissed off and you're getting put out because they got to pay that $500 because you ain't got no money. And most of the time, you ain't got no money. So just make sure that you do what's right. If you love yourself, then you would care about yourself. And if you care about yourself, then you would do your best to do what you need to do. Once again, I'm your boy Dime, and my girl Kia's in the back holding the camera. Thank you for all your help today with this lesson. I know the beginning was a little trying to get myself together, but you know, I've been doing this for 5 years now, so you know, sometimes my brain gets a little whoopsie there. Well, I thank you, and I cannot wait to do another video. Once again, stay safe, wash your hands, or I'm going to come and get you. Alright? Stay safe. Thank you. So what we do